Round 19. Final round for these two teams in the regular season, the Brumbies and the Western Force. And we are at GIO Stadium in the nation's capital. And it's a chilly night in Canberra, partly cloudy, 6 degrees at the moment. And a good crowd building up. Gee, they're rugged up, and rightly so. And it's great to know that win this one and you are into the top 6 for 2014. So much to play for. Greg Martin, who's alongside me, and Marto, it's going to be the Western Force pack that has to aim up tonight initially.
Well, especially the combination they've got in the front row. They've played together every single game this year. Got test experience. Cowan's incredible around the field. So is Nathan Charles. Tell you what, Sam Wykes last weekend, his best game in the Force jersey. So he's a force to be reckoned with, but it's the back row that's the feature. McCallum, most runs for the team this year. Hodgson, most pilfers, most tackles. And Rod Kafer, talk us through the backs.
Two former Brumbies in the halves. Both of them will need to just work out how they're going to play the game tonight. Force kick or run. Tuatara Morrison and Russell are in the centres. Both strong, powerful runners will need to work hard to stop the Brumbies inside backs. Cummins has been in fantastic form. Haylett Petty, a big guy. Hayward at fullback.
Well, the bench is going to be so important tonight. Tessman, Faulkner, Hoskins and Coleman. Not a lot of experience there, but now we get into those with a few runs on the board. Elcock, good to have him back. Mathewson, 108th game of Super Rugby. Eberson has passed his fitness test as well. Well, for the Brumbies, they've got a good track record at home, and gee, they've got some strike power up front as well.
Well, no worries with their props. CO and Alexander, they're regulars. It's Josh Manray, his run-on debut in Super Rugby. It's going to be tough, but they needed a regular hooker. They're back together, the two hardest working second rowers in the competition. Sam Carter, he'll dominate around there with his tireless work, and at the back, Vardy and Moen. Their exactitude at the breakdown could be the key for this game being won.
Brumbies are delighted to see Matt Tamua back in the 10 jersey. Steers the team beautifully. Nick White's been in very good form. Christian Laliofano and Tavita Kurandrani. The back line will be where the Brumbies think they have an advantage. That centre pairing very good. Lots of pace and strike power out wide. Spate Rathbone retains his spot. Jesse Mogg at fullback.
Rory Murphy started at hooker, so he's a reserve hooker this week. The Smith brothers, our Lua is there as well, playing his 31st game of Super Rugby. And what about the timely return for the Wallabies? Joe Tamani and also Pat McCabe. We will see them inject themselves into the match in the second half, no doubt about that. So they've travelled across the nation, the Western Force. They're third on the Australian Conference. They started tonight 7th overall. But the Chiefs have now overtaken them. 40 points, same as the Brumbies, but they have worse for and against compared to the Brumbies. And it's going to be Matt Hodgson leading them out. It's been their best ever season so far, winning 9 games for the first time, including the 5 in a row that set them up for a shot at the playoffs. Back in Canberra, the Western Force win tonight, and they are in the top 6 for the very first time. It looked a bridge too far when they lost back-to-back to the Crusaders and Blues, but they bounced back last week to beat the Reds 30-20 in Perth, and this man, Sam Wykes, had a big hand in that. Well,
read those stats, and you can go through them, but if anyone watched the game, it was some of his other work that isn't marked on the stats, so he's in form, and they really need that.
Well, they lost to the Brumbies at home in Perth in week 3 this year, going down 27-14 after it was 24-0 at half-time. And getting set to lead the Brumbies out, it is the man playing his 50th game of Super Rugby. Nick White, 24 years of age, 13 tests now, leads the team for line break assists, try assists and offloads. So a milestone for Nick, congratulations to him. And also a bit of a milestone for Ben Moen as well. 91st game of Super Rugby, his 49th as captain of the Brumbies, so he's equal now with George Gregan. Heading to Montpellier, will he get to bring up 50 games as captain for the Brumbies? That's all ahead of them. Fresh from a bye, the Brumbies looking to reach the Super Rugby playoffs for the 8th time. They've been in 6 finals, winning 2, losing 4. Their form has been patchy in the run-up to the business end of the tournament, winning just 2 of their past 6 games, including the 31-point loss to the Waratahs last start. That was a fortnight ago, but I guess they had excuses there. They were down on firepower.
They had set-piece problems, but yeah, as they keep saying, the Cavalry's are right, and if you read their body language, they're up for this game.
And the Brumbies tonight welcome back some strike power. Carter Tamua returning from injury to start the match. Tamani McCabe on the bench. They've won their last 2 Aussie derbies at home and 6 of their past 7. So can they chalk up another one? Referee, the very experienced, the most experienced Super Rugby referee, Steve Walsh. Western Force, what will it be? Close but no cigar? Or will they win in Canberra for the first time since 2011 and reach the playoffs? We're underway. Do or die at GIO Stadium in Canberra. And that's on the ground, and it came off the Brumbies. So the Force through McKelman, only about 23 metres out. Pryor getting it to the new man, Stunder, who's replacing the suspended Hugh McMenamin. Holmes, who is a former Brumby, into the 22 he goes. Good field position early on for the Force. So important for the men from the West to start this game. Remember, last time they played in Perth, it was the Brumbies that led 24-0 at half-time, and it was pretty much game over. Now Haylett Petty goes to ground. Still just inside the 22. Charles, try scorer last week against the Reds. Pryor, Stunder. Good tackle from Tamua around the bootlaces. Working the narrow channel to Nick Cummins. Will it be his last appearance for the Force, or will he get a playoff? So plenty of continuity, but not really going anywhere. Tuatara Morrison. Still there for the Force. Pick and go, Stunder.
Excellent discipline from the Brumbies in defence.
No way through there. But now they look to go a little wider, and Wykes is taken. Good defence from Kurandrani. Russalia. And it's been stolen. So wonderful work by the Brumbies after all that.
16 phases and they hit back.
Up to the 10-metre mark. And Tamua Lealiafano. Rathbone over halfway. And the arm goes out from the referee, Alexander.
And again, advantage.
Getting it away to one of the locks. And the penalty. And we can go to Rod Kafer at long last. Kafe, what a start.
Good start. Both teams wanting to use the ball. The Force quite narrow, obviously, in their attack. And the Brumbies, interesting to see them use the ball out of their 22. We've seen them many, many times kick from that position. Conditions are good here. The wind is favouring the Brumbies. Nick White might think about a shot and does. He definitely has the wind behind him. There's just enough breeze, and the conditions are cold, but there's enough breeze to keep the dew off the ground a little bit. We'll see it come out in the second half, but conditions at the moment are actually pretty good, providing that breeze stays up.
Kafe, 16 phases by the Force. I watched the Brumbies in their warm-up. I reckon they spent 80% of the time working on their defence and defensive breakdown, so it paid off there.
Well, they know they have to compete against the Force, and they know that the Force will attack in those close channels, and that's where they have spent a lot of time working on this week and last week.
75% success rate for Nick White. A long way back, but he's going to get the distance. What's the direction like? It's out to the right, so it is still 0-0.
Really tried to give it a thump, didn't he, Marto? Maybe trying a little bit too hard to get the length. Didn't need to.
No, he can boot it for a man his size. The Force are on notice, though, watching the Brumbies ramble 30 metres in 2 phases. More.
Now it's Wykes. Kick from Jaden Hayward.
Well, he found grass, putting it straight down the field, so putting the onus back on Jesse Mogg. Well, that's a wicked kick.
Off the left boot, off the side, and it had come off over on the far side. Well, a bit fortuitous there. It's going to be a throw into the line out for the Brumbies.
Yeah, Mogg did well to get away with that one. Not his best.
Brumbies immediately go to a full-man line-out. Won a lot, obviously, last week with the prop throwing in at the front. Let's see what they do with Josh Man-Ray. First throws.
First start for Man-Ray, no problem.
No challenge.
Got it into the hands of Bauer, and Lealiafano floats one over to Spate. Beats one over the 10-metre mark. White. Penalty. Another penalty against the Force, and taken quickly by Tamura up towards the 22, trying to catch the napping. Good metres. Now it's Fardy.
Tamura setting the pace of the game.
Lealiafano goes wide to Kurandrani, and Power throws the dummy. Cuts back on the inside, 7 or 8 metres out. Tamura, head down. Oh, he's getting very close. He is over. Well, that's terrific play by the Brumbies. Took the quick tap, kept the momentum. What a try.
But it started before that. The birth of it was from the line out. No challenge from the Force. Came off the top, went wide. There was a lovely pass, double cut out. Well, here it is here. From Lealiafano. That angle there from space was the one that got them into the backfield. He's pulled down. The penalty comes, and Tamura immediately sums up the situation, gets them going forward, and then he gets from way over on the right-hand side to the left-hand side to finish the try. Matt Tamura, a little bit of genius.
He's really come to play, Matty Tamura and the Brumbies as well. They're real up-tempo game at the moment. They're trying to blow the Force away in these first 20 or 30 minutes, and the bench is excited. The team, obviously, with a clear plan of attack. I mean, quite often that position on the field, we will see the Brumbies drive a 7-man line out there or come off the top and hit up someone in the midfield to punch. Not the play tonight. They go straight to Henry Spate on that right wing, and he makes the incision. Real different strategy tonight from the Brumbies. Clearly spent their time with the bye last week working on their attacking game, and they've brought something new.
Cafe, I like Leon Power, the way he straightened the attack, beat 3 and got them. Well, he was probably the last source of that ball for that last breakdown before Tamura went over. That was well done.
Lealiafano hasn't really been able to get his kicking up around the 75 or 80% since coming back from injury. What's it like first up tonight? Again, he's missed it. So 5-0. Brumbies over the Force.
Pass the breakdown, leave white players, okay?
And Tamura, that's his 5th try for the season, his 10th in his career. Head-to-head, these teams have played 12 times. The Brumbies have won 7, the Force 4. There was a 1 draw back in 2011. Here in Canberra, it's Brumbies 3, Force 2.
Henry Spate didn't have a go at that kickoff.
You have a look at the comparisons. The Brumbies have now scored 43 tries while conceding 32. The Force have scored 34, and they have conceded 34 now. They go high. And and he's just managing to hold on there. Mogg. Now it's Tamura wanting to play it at the other end. Cummins takes it. Gives it back to Holmes.
Oh, Matt Tamura again putting his stamp. Last time he goes wide and then goes to Lealiafano and wide to Spate. This time pumps him into the backfield. First of all, Jesse Mogg hit brilliantly in the air to fingertip control that one.
Josh Man-Ray, 7 times on the bench, 33 years of age, and he's getting his first start for the Brumbies. Again, a good line out. Tamura. They get it wide. The bounce pass comes up and hits Rathbone in the head, so he must have got a hand on it as well.
Let's go. First Darren, let's go, Darren.
Yeah, the disappointment showing, Cave.
Yeah, it was, and interesting to see them go. You know, I thought they might just have a little change up there. The first line out, they go the wide play. Similar play, a little, blocker play. Christian Lealiafano just little ball, greasy maybe, and just didn't quite get the rip onto it out to Clyde Rathbone. Should have been expecting the bounce past Marta. We've seen many of those come off.
No, it's an outstanding tactic. Ref Cam can't get any closer than this. What a clash. Cowan against Alexander on this side. Prop.
Set.
Pryor puts it in. He's another former Brumby. Also had a stint with the Reds as well, the scrum half. So Holmes is hammered.
Tamua.
Matt Tamua.
No!
Penalty goes against the Brumbies, so a bit of relief here for the Force.
Oh, they love the left-hand side scrum, the Brumbies. In defence, Nick White picks up the first receiver. You see Nick White's off the scrum, and it just allows Matt Tamua to get excited, and he comes forward. A great hitter. Would have done a lot in training with Zach Holmes. They know each other well from years together at the Brumbies, and no better thing when you're playing opposite a man. You're man on man in defence, and you just leave the line and whack him early.
He'll be looking from now on, Zach Holmes. Very wary.
Makes the advantage line just that a little bit more difficult to get across the next time, because you're just a little bit deeper.
Nathan Charles throwing into a line out, and Stumble knocks it back, and the penalty goes to the Force.
Off his arm, thrown straight into him.
Decision time here.
That's the message. Sure.
Hodgson signals towards the post. Another look at Matt Tamua's timing.
It's one of his features, his defence, and that's what sets him aside from a lot of the inside backs. Have a look at that. Holmes not given a chance to do anything. He's destroyed 2 players with 1 tackle.
Can be just a little bit offside from time to time. I think he was maybe crept 2 or 3 metres there.
But I heard there's a bit of...
Lucky to get away with it.
You saw where Steve Walsh's head was pointing on ref cam, the bit we showed there, so he didn't notice, and his touchies didn't help him. Don't know if Matt Hodgson saw it on the big screen, but it'd be well worth him asking the question, just so Steve Walsh keeps an eye on Matt Tamua.
Good effort with the boot last week, Jaden Hayward. Remember, there was no C.S. Everson in the starting 15. So Hayward looking for the Force's first points, and he's away as well.
Gee, that wind's tricky.
Still 5-0 Brumbies. All we have to remind you about is win and you're in.
Did you see
the
that
top
moment?
6? Don't need a bonus point.
Of course not. No, it is a winner-take-all. It's virtually a quarter-final, I guess you could call it. That moment there with Matt Tamua taking the kick, remember last year when he didn't put it down and threw the ball to the 22, he had a brain explosion. Won't happen again.
Got a memory like an elephant, Craig Martin.
Well, that was against the Force in this corresponding match.
And there's the kick from Hayward, and it's drifting out. So a mistake.
Just watch more.
13 minutes gone.
Yeah, that's psychologically, that's a bit of a blow. That missed penalty followed up by that kick. That hands momentum straight back to the Brumbies. Only 35 out.
Man Ray finds Carter down to White. Tamua. Hand goes out. Here's the penalty. Again. Just sloppy play from the Force.
No, it looked like it was a great tactic from the Brumbies. What often in lineouts, the back line will take their cue off, getting ready to get up.
3 or 4 times, but 3 of them have been for offside. Yeah. Just going early. Yeah.
Warning there for Matt Hodgson going early. And what did you do as a back line is you want to get up in the opposition's face in that position, so you just take the risk that it's going to come off the top of the line out. And that time, the Brumbies often go off the top. Sam Carter brings the ball down and just holds it for a second, releases it to Nick White, and they catch the Force offside. You know, a real change in tactics. The 3 options are, off the top, bring it down, feed the halfback, or drive. Normally the Brumbies, when they bring it down, drive all of the time. Great little change up there, which caught the Force napping.
Lealiafano in front. 24 metres back. This time the flags are up, and the Brumbies are up by 8 points to 0.
He needed that for his own peace of mind. Christian Lealiifano. Well, of course, they're topping the stats in terms of possession, 60%, 63% territory, but not getting a reward.
Oh, good take. Carter. Jared Butler.
Why?
Started in all 15 of his games for the Brumbies. And White.
Steve Walsh has got no idea what happened. Then he was on the ground.
5 or 6 from halfway. And good pressure there on White. Forces the mistake. And so White gives it to Cowan. And Charles straightens. Good defence, Lealiifano. McKelman getting it out to Stunder. Pryor. Here's the captain. Captain courageous, Matt Hodgson. What a season. Haylett Petty. Hasn't he made the most of his time back at the force?
Tackle without the ball. 10 White.
Yeah, good decision, Steve Walsh.
Advantage being played to Tara Morrison, taken by Kurandrani. Pick and go Cowan. Nothing happening there, so we'll come back, and an opportunity for some points here.
Gee, Haylett
for
Petty
the force.
Haylett Petty was the one who made the half gap. He did have a support player who was tackled. That's the penalty, because he could have unloaded. That's Steve Walsh. You always enjoy seeing this, Cave. Watch out. And then Nick White takes off. Keep your eye on the ball, Steve.
He's been doing it for a while, Steve Walsh. No need to hit the ground. What's he doing?
That'll make its way onto Rugby HQ, I've got no doubts.
Oh, dear. I wonder if you've seen that on the big screen. There he is. Well done, Walshy. I think he was watching himself up there, but good opportunity now for the force to hit back and just settle the nerves a little bit. The players in the stand. There's a good one making his way back to fitness, and Dave Pocock.
Hayward. Handy position. And he makes no mistake, so the force on the score sheet. 8 points to 3.
Oh, they've travelled. There's a few honey badgers.
I saw quite a few of them in Perth last week, Marta. They told me they're coming. And haven't they come?
They look like they might have driven.
I reckon we might see a few in Japan as well when the Honey Badger heads north after the season is over for the force. Work again from Haylett Petty from the kickoff. Stunder. Pryor. Back it goes to Hayward. Not out.
Mowen's back there.
Then Mowen take it back over the halfway, giving it to Mogg, and he puts the foot on the gas. Spate.
Gee, makes a lot of right decisions, Henry Spate.
Power gives it to Alexander, and he's lost it. Lost it in the collision.
At the moment, the Brumbies are getting a little bit of a roll on across the advantage line. Their carries are quite dominant. Good piece of defence there. Matty Hodgson rolling with the tackle, got the hand under the arm just to dislodge the ball. The Brumbies are just getting that little bit of rhythm into their attack, carrying the ball quite nicely at the moment. The force very narrow, their attack. They're looking to just try to pick off the edges around the Brumbies, and maybe it's an opportunity for Ian Pryor to have a couple of darts.
Find.
Plenty of possession and time in the opposition half for the force.
Free kick, early push. Hold the weight, please, White.
So
White
in the
free.
end, it's a free kick.
And they're having a long chat about what
Bit
they're going
short
to do
on,
as
guys.
well.
Missed signal.
We'll kick down the centre of the park.
He's found some grass.
And Rathbone across to White. Inside the 22. Not out. Holmes. Thumps it back down to Mogg. What can he do with the left foot? He's going to have a run. before launching into it. Over to Dane Hallock-Petty. That's a bit of a kick-a-thon here.
That's not a bad dab.
Sits up in the field of play. Mogg.
Not over yet.
Down to Holmes. This time he's going to have a run. Easy meters. About 30 metres out. The force. Prior to Cowan. Russalia. Happy to be back from injury and in the starting team. Stunder. Former Natal player in the Curry Cup in South Africa. Hodgson taken by Fardy.
A lot of players on
There's another penalty.
That's not good enough for me, you two players here.
Yeah,
I need you on your feet past the ball. Better effort, please.
Yeah, no complaints from the Brumbies. They were fully complicit and aware.
I mean, it's simple stuff from the force at the moment, but it's effective. They're carrying the ball back. Zach Holmes made a great decision to run that ball back in, and it's one-out play. The force have been able to retain possession for long periods of time and generate a couple of penalties now, and here's another opportunity to close the gap. Brumbies just haven't been able to get too many phases together. A couple of soft turnovers apart from their try. A couple of little early turnovers, and it's playing the force who are playing into the breeze, and then this opportunity to stay in touch at the moment.
Handy position again for Jaden Hayward. Hayward. Nice strike again. Flags go up. The gap narrows. It's 8 points to 6.
I'm not seeing what I saw 2 weeks ago, eh? I mean, set. You're pre-engaged. Please.
Don't know if you can hear that conversation completely, but Steve Walsh saying, I'm seeing what I saw 2 weeks ago in the scrum, engaging too early, putting the pressure on too early to Ben Alexander.
Russalia. Good take. McCalman. So important for the Western Force to stay with the Brumbies early on. And the penalty, and it's very handy indeed, just to the right of the uprights.
Taking out a player plus the ruck.
Pet Cowan, ping there.
There's some of the referees were keeping an eye on earlier in the season.
Number 3 did it early, now number 1.
Well, they'll get the message. Don't take players out of the game when you're in front of the ball, trying to impede defenders, creating holes.
Yep. Well, I got both then, mate, but I think the first one's the big issue, huh?
Not always sure about that penalty, Marto, because it's a clean out, and if a guy doesn't, you sort of go 2 or 3 metres past when you clean someone out. That's how you coach. That's how you train to do it. Sometimes if a player just rolls with it like Ben Alexander, it looks a lot worse than it was. It was just a clean out, really.
And they're both kind of hanging on to each other.
Yeah. It's a tough call.
Player Leofano. Brings it around again. 11 points to 6.
Well, it immediately negates that momentum of the force we're gaining with those 2 penalties. So important for Leofano's confidence as well. 2 easy-ish penalties. Force want to get underway quickly, and it goes to Spate.
Taken by Spate. Good tackle from Kieran Longbottom. So the Brumbies with some work to do.
No clear release, number 1. No clear release.
He's got Pat Cowan again this time. No clear release.
Plenty of penalties. We'll just have a look. Pet Cowan didn't agree. So after he makes the hit, attacking player goes to ground. We'll just see it as the ref sees it. Pet Cowan with the headgear. Didn't, no. He made the tackle and kept on working.
No clear release.
So Man Ray will throw into this line out. 35 metres.
Short line out now for the Brumbies. Have had 3 falls as a short 5-man.
Knocked down brilliantly by Moen. So Tamua straight running. Quick recycle. White gives it now to Lealiofano. Over the advantage line he goes. Now it's Carter. Oh, Sam Carter! Picked up. And they're only 5 metres out. Alexander. Moen, the captain. White. Tamua wants it back on the right side. Tamua straight through. What a try! He has got a double. This timely return to the starting 15. Matt Tamua.
Again, brilliant spotting. He's scanned what's going on. Instead of going to the left where there weren't opportunities, Matt Tamua swept across to the right, and he spotted Kieran Longbottom. The tight end prop realised he could take him on, takes the honey badger, leaves him out on the wing to defend, and just slides through the gap. But this is the key. Sam Carter bumping one. It was a lucky backwards fumble, I'd call that. Not a pass. Allowed them to go to the centre field. Watch Tamua come out from the left of the frame. Left of the screen right now. He goes. He spots the opportunity. He's outnumbered, but he realises the second last man is Kieran Longbottom with no pace.
And it was what was happening on the left side of the field, Marta, that you referred to. The Brumbies were set really wide. They had Tavita Kurandrani and Clyde Rathbone way out to the left, and the Western Force were working so hard to reset their defence. Everybody was heading to the right. Matt Tamua came back against the grain, swung back around to his right, caught them napping. Nice try.
I think he realised all the it was all tight forwards that were left with the honey badger to defend on the Force's left side. So he realised there was a chance for him to use footwork. He didn't even need to. He used outside pace. What a game he's having, Tamua. Summed it up so quickly.
Christian Lealiofano can't add the extra 2, but some breathing space there. 16-6 Brumbies over the Force. And Matt Tamua, that is his 3rd double in his last 4 games at home in Canberra. Little wonder he's signed for the next 2 years. Happy to stay here.
He's such a good player on the front foot.
Spate, the kicking to his wing, the Force, but he's safe under the high ball so far.
Tackle only.
Not coming out of there, so we'll have a scrum with the Brumbies to put in. What's quite amazing is the Brumbies haven't won their final game of the regular season since 2007. They've lost 2 final round games to the Force since 2008. But the winner of this clash will secure a spot in the playoff for 2014. They've been in 14 finals matches, the Brumbies. Of course, the Force hoping to create history and make the playoffs for the very first time. Long way to go, but they need to stay in touch, the Western Force.
Around the corner.
Oh, messy scrum makes it easier for the Brumbies.
Push straight. Most of the work came from back 5. Yep.
Nick White will look to put it in touch on the far side.
Kate, interesting to see Steve Walsh say the work all came from the back 5. Well, they pulled it around.
Yeah, they swung it around, so they all went left shoulder and swung it, which referees, it's easy to spot as a referee. It's a low percentage play. I understand why they do it. Rarely do teams get away with it now.
Good take by Leon Power. And Rathbone gives it now to Kurandrani. Tara Morrison was waiting for him. White to Mua. Leofano. Marcelia takes in ball and all. Alexander. And now Fadi. Wikes the tackler. To Mua. One-handed pass. Kurandrani to Rathbone. And he's lost it. So Haylett Petty.
Turnover ball. Haylett Petty's done the right thing.
Raced up to shut Holmes down. Jared Butler on that occasion. Long bottom. Sets it up again. Pryor. To Haylett Petty. Leofano looks up and sees some space and runs it into touch.
Very neat work.
A sensible kick from Christian Leofano. Had Jesse Mogg on his right, and you've seen Nick Cummins there under a little bit of pressure, was thinking about Jesse Mogg there. Christian laid it up perfectly, and now the Brumbies get an opportunity to use their defensive line out. Force gone short, played on quickly.
Pryor into touch.
Yeah, efficient method of exiting. Didn't make much ground.
Well, the Brumbies will be happy to be back into this position now. They've having a chat in the back line about what they're going to play. Matt Tamua calling the shots. And Christian Leofano getting the message out. They've used that wide play twice now. Wouldn't be surprised to see them go short with Tavita Kurandrani looking for a run.
They go to the back, but not straight. So the first not straight call against Josh Manray. Always a risk, Rod, isn't it, when you go to the back?
Yeah, but it's a great ball to play off. In fact, Josh Manray's got away with a few throws tonight that I thought, gee whiz. No, perhaps you could call that one not straight. So
if you're saying that, Kate, they must have been a bit dodgy.
They were a little bit dodgy, Marta, no doubt about it. But, you know, those ones where you sort of go, do we want to go to a scrum or should we just play off the top? I think we all like seeing the ball being released. Matt Tamua's looking for a big hit again in defence. The Force will probably use a little play here. Perhaps Ben McCalman off the back. He will probably feed a runner. Could be either one of the centres coming forward. And they'll be, you see them there set. Maybe Nick Cummins is also an option. Just try to look to punch in before exiting. Let's see if Cummins, he looks to me like he's running, hands on the knees, ready to go. Excited by the opportunity to tear into Matt Tamua.
Well, they don't have to worry. Get the easy option.
Taking them some time to get the scrum right. Another penalty.
There's only been one scrum actually decided so far.
I'm speaking on 3 occasions. I need it fixed.
Yeah, I just heard Steve Walsh talking to Ben Mowen. It's about Ben Alexander at scrum time.
Nathan Charles, 2 tests for the Wallabies against France this year. Great achievement. White.
Oh, that's perfectly placed just outside the 22.
And Cummins. Taken 30 out from his own line. Back it goes. Zach Holmes. Long. Hayward, solid. Pryor, stunned up. Kurandrani makes the tackle. Box kick from Bryant, charge down. Who wants it? It's there for the Brumbies. Lealiofano, Carter. Tamua running onto it again. This time, they're not going to let him through. White, now Power. Scotty Sio. Good strong run up to the 22.
Oh, there's holes.
Tamua, now Alexander. Offloads. Rathbone inside. Jesse Mogg. Try number 3 for the Brumbies.
Brilliant stuff. Brilliant ball control on the right-hand side. Henry Spate was disappointed, never came. Tamua had done the right thing on this side, the right-hand side, before it went far left. Ben Alexander, brilliant. Stayed straight, drew the second last man. Clyde Rathbone took the tackle rather than going low and trying to slide. But it all came. The birth of the try was from the charge down.
Benny Alexander got his hands on it.
And then Butler.
Yeah, they've done really well, and it's a great carry. And this is what the Brumbies, when they've had the ball, they've been winning those collisions. A little bit of front foot ball, and you can see Zach Holmes there caught standing still. Jaden Hayward as well. Clyde Rathbone does a great job, as all wingers should. Just that little go for the corner and lay it off to the fullback.
Tuatara Morrison there.
Yeah.
He ended up defending on no one.
Yeah, nicely worked. Nicely worked play again. Matt Tamua summed it up early. A beautiful ball to Ben Alexander. It was a player who was very good in open field running, Ben Alexander, particularly when he played at loose head. Had a little bit more energy perhaps than what he does at tight head for some of that stuff around the ground. Nice try.
Did I see that Mogg hadn't scored only one try in the last 8 games or something or other, so he was certainly due. Set the comp alight early in the season.
And again,
he's got a hooking problem.
Lealiofano can't get the radar working. But no problem for Jesse Mogg in the try-scoring department against the Force. That's now 5 tries in these 6 games against the Force. And they've got 3 already. 21 points to 6. Might have been game over if some of those kicks had have gone over. Holmes. Hayward chasing. Mogg. Left tie. Took it cleanly. And White. It's been touched. So Nick Cummins. Oh, big one. Oh, and then tried to offload. Couldn't control it to Stunder.
I think he realised, Nick Cummins, that he needed something special to spark the team from the back of the field. Half broke a tackle. Impossible pass in the end. Yeah, they need points before half-time. It's going to be tough now.
Brumbies have just denied the Western Force in the last 15 or 20 minutes any field position. They've made them play out of their half, and when you sort of go down by that scoreline they are now, it's difficult. The Brumbies are undefeated. 16 games at home with ahead at half-time. It's a telling stat for them. They know how to close out a game. We'll play into the breeze in the second half, though.
Brumbies are on a 6-game winning streak at this venue. Now is Spate. 8 metres inside the Force territory. Fardy, Rosalia and Hodgson all over the top of him. Man Ray. Here's Power. Moen to Sio. Man Ray. And Kieran Longbottom. There's the kick, and it's been charged down again, so into the arms of Cummins. Holmes looking for some territory. Didn't get a lot on that one, and Mogg takes it up over halfway. Touch back in field. Butler to Nanray. Good tackle, Stunder. Carter.
No! Thanks, Captain.
Now Tamua drops it onto the left foot for Rathbone to chase. Beats everybody into touch. And they'll have time for the line-out before half-time.
Yeah, not a bad option. You can see there was spare ground just over the top of the Force defence. Keeps them honest.
No time, in fact. There's the siren. The referee says we'll end it there. The end of the first half, and it's been a good half for the home team. That man, that Tamua, scoring 2 tries to take his tally to 6 for the season. And the other try scorer was Jesse Mogg, so he's now got 7 for the season. Half-time at GIO Stadium in Canberra in this do-or-die encounter. Brumbies leading Force 21-6. Rod Cafer.
Nick White. Nick, pretty good half from the Brumbies.
Yeah, pretty good. We've been down there a lot, so would have liked a few more points. Building pressure, but we need to turn that pressure into points. So, look, if we keep doing the same, they'll come back hard, so we've got to take it up a notch.
You came out with a real attitude of wanting to play the game, some great attacking rugby.
Yeah, and that's it. We want to, spoken about it all week, spotting the space and the opportunities and making the most of them. So, got to keep it up. Got to take it up again, as I said.
Good luck in the second half.
Thanks, Gav.
Brumbies are leading here in Canberra, 21 points to 6.
Well, the Brumbies have 1 foot in the playoffs. In 2014, they lead by 21 points to 6 at the break at GIO Stadium in Canberra. The Force just can't really get into the game, and the tries really have been pretty easy in the end for the Brumbies.
Brumbies started an electrifying pace. The Force had a lot of the ball and a lot of territory, but quite simply the Brumbies, the speed at which they did everything, the momentum they were able to get so quickly, and the direction that Matt Tamua has been giving them. He'd done so much work on the other side of the field in the lead up to that try, then switched across to the left and just kept on going. 40 squares things up so nicely. Sam Carter. Well, we said the cavalry was coming back. He hasn't played for the Brumbies for 6 weeks, and it's showing how well his work power was missed. But here's Tamua. Again, scanned things, realised he was up against a heap of tight forwards on the right-hand side, and a deserved try. Their third one was a beauty as well. Tamua again. He keeps the line straight. It was Ben Alexander just drew. It was an efficient rather than a brilliant try by Jesse Mogg. 3 1/2 a footy at this stage of the season. Good effort.
Yeah, 21 points to 6, and the 2 penalty goals to Hayward for the Force, and for the Brumbies, Tamura double, Mogg got the other one. No conversions by Lealiofano, so his goal kicking still a bit of a worry at this end of the season, but he did kick 2 penalties just to get a little bit of confidence going at one stage. So 21 points to 6. What about the Battle of the Wingers? Spade, a lot of emphasis on him, available for the Wallabies come September. And he's class.
His angle, his foot speed, and also some of his decision-making's been outstanding. That one there where he came inside Mogg to make sure you get another 15 metres over, which means the defence is backpedaling and you can go again. His work, I think he dropped the first kick-off of the match, only because he's under so much pressure. Since then, have a look at that. That's dynamic. Rather than getting a fairly slow second rower to catch you, you get Spate and you're into it.
Stephen Larkham re-signed for another 3 years as head coach. Laurie Fisher heading to Gloucester. They are desperate for another crack at the playoffs.
Look at that. The possession and territory is evened up by half-time, almost 50-50 after the Force had a lot of it, but it's here. The missed tackles. That's a lot of the Force, but the Brumbies are going hard at them. They've made a few mistakes. They were all early. The advantage line, 60% by the Brumbies. That means every time you have the ball, whether you get over the advantage line, that's not high. But I tell you what is low is that's the Force. That means the Brumbies are real strong on defence.
Well, the Force, can they make it into the playoffs for the very first time? It's already their most successful season with 9 wins, but they've got a lot of work to do in the second half. Not a lot for their fans to cheer about, but the home team going well. 21-6, Brumbies at halftime. Well, we've got Brumbies running around, and at half-time we had the three-legged race over the hurdles as well. What about the first half by the Brumbies? Let's go to Rod Caper with the coach.
Sorry, pretty efficient first half from the Brumbies.
Yeah, really pleased with we had a good power in our carry game, a little bit of skill, which we were probably absent the last couple of weeks, so we're pretty happy with what we've done in the attack.
Real different sort of attacking game at the start of that first half.
Yeah, look, we worked hard on just if the space is there to take it to the space. Otherwise, again, just a little shift onto the ball and a little look down short side. So, yeah, Matt Tamua's had a fantastic game so far.
Enjoy the second half.
I'll try to.
So Laurie Fisher might have to delay his trip to the UK, to his new base at Gloucester, the way things are going after 40 minutes. Oh, a false alarm.
Sorry. Apologies.
We'll reset ourselves for the second half kickoff.
Take two.
$21 points to 6. Brumbies over the Force, and Wykes takes it on his own 22.
Boys.
Mathewson is on there at scrum half.
That's a good move. They need to change the course of this game. He's one man who can do it.
Now it's Tamua up over halfway to Tara Morrison. Wraps him up. Alexander. White to Butler. Lealiofano. Kurandrani. Asalia throws him into the turf. Power. He's been solid in the first 40. Lealiofano found a gap. He's got Moen on the inside. Charles makes a tackle. And the Brumbies on the charge again. Now it's Power charging into them. The ball is out. White had to clean up, and Mathewson was right over the top of him. It's going to come back for the Brumbies. CO. Pick and go. Great field position. In search of a 4-try bonus point.
What a start to the second half.
And real pressure here on the Force. Now it's Fardia, got away from one. White. Oh, that's loose, but the bounce is okay for Kurandrani. They hold on to him 4 metres out. White to his captain, Moen. White. Now Fardy. Cowan rides him into the ground. White throws the dummy. Almost over the line, driven back into the field of play. And stolen. So, good work in the end by the Force, but they're under all sorts of pressure, Rod Caper.
Really were. They did really well to hold the Brumbies out. You felt any moment the Brumbies would find some space. Laurie Fisher spoke at half-time about just their ability to shift the ball. And they went back to those little one-out runners. The Brumbies, there was space everywhere if they could get a second pass in, but they just kept pecking away at the edges, and eventually Nick White got turned over close to the line.
You hold them out for 16 phases at the start of the second half, which was vital. That gives you a little lift, but they're going to come at them again. I see on the sideline, Pat McCabe and Joe Tamani will come on shortly. Doesn't get any easier for the Force.
Penalty is there for the Force if they want it. Lealiofano out the back to Moore. Now Mogg gives it to Spate on the far side. Henry Spate takes them on. Oh, what a try! Brilliant! We've seen so much of it in Brumbies colours. Will we see some of that in Wallaby goal come September? 4 tries, bonus point, 1.5 legs into the playoffs.
The passer into Moore was good to Mogg, but Mogg could have gobbled up another 15-20 metres. He elected to give Spate plenty of room, which he appreciated because he was going at the honey badger. Nick Cummins can defend, but Spate just burned him for pace. Tamua, that's a brilliant pass. It's in front. That's a beauty because he doesn't have to check his speed at all. Comes inside. There's some ordinary defence there from the three back defenders from the force.
Great finish, and Marta. You know that Nick Cummins is going to come in. He wants to come in off his wing. And Jesse Mogg did it beautifully. Just held the ball up long enough to release his wing. And look at Spate. That's why the Wallabies want to get him into their side. He is a very dynamic winger.
Get me the Wallaby number 14 now, he says.
Yeah, great footballer. Great try. Was out at a lunch today at the Yas Rams Club, and they told me that Henry Spate, they called it a gentleman's lunch, but there were no gentlemen in the room there today. But they did tell me that last week Henry Spate, he's aligned to their club, and he turned up on the bus, went to Cooma, ran the water for them against Cooma for the Yas Rams. What a great rugby man he is.
And this time he has got it working.
Short.
Oh, no, it's just over.
19 collapsing, okay? It was
28 points to 6. They've got the 4-try bonus point. Now they just have to hold on. And it's now or never for the Western Force. Their best ever season is about to come to an end. Here's Moen. He wants to delay his flight to Montpellier in France.
Blue! Hey, boys, stop there.
Mogg with the kick, and Holmes across to Jaden Hayward. Nudges it back down to Mogg. Calling the mark.
That's a bit better. Low is better than high into this slight wind. No problems with the Brumbies playing anything negative this evening. 4 tries just after half-time. They've looked wonderful out wide.
What a difference a fortnight makes. Last start was against the Waratahs. They were down on manpower and they were hammered in Sydney. Got some players back from injury, and you can see the difference. And what about Mathewson? So elusive. Spot a gap.
Should have started with him.
Now it's Stunder. Oh, straight through. Taken in the end by CO. And Mathewson, under some pressure there and lost it forward. Nothing going their way.
Look at Stunder pushed through by Nathan Charles through the hole. And then the error comes.
It's pretty simple stuff from the force. It's one out off the edge of the rucks. You get the feeling that the Brumbies have done their homework. They're aware of that. They're looking to isolate those players when they can, make tackles. The other thing the Brumbies haven't done is overcommit to the defensive breakdown. We see them use different tactics in different games. Quite often they'll flood the defensive breakdown. Tonight, much more judicious at when they go in.
Bind.
And have just defended those edges very well against the Force.
You think about it, the Force have struggled. I think they got the second fewest line breaks for the season, so they don't score their tries for what you call traditional means. They score them from turnovers, and there hasn't been many of them tonight. And the Brumbies knew that. They knew if they could blow them away early, the gritty Force can't go with you at a fast pace on the scoreboard. They need to stay close.
Michael Foley.
Crouch.
It'll go down as their best year.
Bind.
9 wins.
Sit.
And at the moment, they're missing Kyle
Early
Godwin,
push, Blue.
Marcel Braki,
That's a big
Cottrell,
one.
Luke Morahan. Hugh McMenamin suspended.
That's a lot of top-line players that aren't here for the Force tonight.
No. We should have taken it back, okay?
The Brumbies are the only Aussie side to earn a 4-try bonus point at GIO Stadium in Canberra. But they've only done it once, and that was 2009. A long time ago. Brumbies had this wonderful defensive record at home. Spate thought about the quick throw-in. Well, there's no need for the Brumbies to panic now. They've got through 49 minutes, 28 points to 6, and there's a change coming on, 22. Clyde Rathbone. The way things are going, Clyde is going to get another opportunity in the playoffs. In his first stint with the Brumbies, 04-09, he played 49 games, and then 2010 to 2014 interrupted by injuries, and of course he was retired for a while. He's only played 13 games since 2010. Been wonderful around the Brumbies camp apparently, and that one there is on the ground. It's been knocked on by the Force, so things continue to go against the men in blue.
Oh, it was the right tactic, there's no doubt. There was just a hand got to it, spun like a top on the ground and evaded the attackers.
Centrefield scrum, left and right footed kickers, both of them eyeing up the opportunities. Jesse Moggs loves that left footed kick to the deep left corner, but has that opportunity. Dane Hallett-Petty's quite flat on the right wing.
Yeah, Jaden Haywood's inviting Mogg to kick virtually at us at the camera we're looking at now.
White gets it to Mogg. Left it behind, and Matthewson pulled down from behind. Hodgson brings it out.
Move White! Yeah, okay, advantage.
Advantage being played as Hallett-Petty is taken. Nothing happening there.
Number 2, just in the way.
Gee, there was some brilliant play there. Nick White saw that there was a lot of pressure on outside him. Mogg not well, though. Nick White went to him. I think he was tackled just as he received the ball. Jesse Mogg couldn't release it. Now an injured right wing. So he was about to give it and then got clocked. Oh, yeah. Right on the shoulder there by the point of Dane Hallett-Petty's shoulder.
It's a mouthful, Marta. There's no doubt about that.
Too many hyphens in the Force back line.
Had a real problem for them all season. Great opportunity now for the Force to see if they can claw their way back in. They've been a scrapping team. They do score points late in the game. Scored a couple of tries against the Brumbies many moons ago in Perth. They played over there. Great opportunity now.
They've got to score straight away if they want to stay in this game.
Adam Coleman is on there for Wilhelm Steenkamp. A bit of a rumble here from the Force. Desperate for a try to get back into it. Charles has it. Now being told to use it. Matthewson gives it out to Atara Morrison.
Advantage, number 2.
Laid back. Matthewson. Here's Coleman. Another penalty against the Brumbies.
Go, mate.
White takes it quickly. Charges into Fardy. Gets up, has another go. 5 metres out.
Wasn't held.
Number 6, again.
McKelman.
Could be a yellow card here too.
And again, advantage.
Can they find a way through? Brumbies flirting with danger. Giving away penalties. But it's still there. And Kelman, they raced up and shut him down. Matthewson. Holmes looking for a try against his old team.
Nick Cummins is on his own in 30 metres out to the left. You can't even see him on the screen at the moment.
They keep it in tight.
Advantage offside.
Offside advantage again, and Holmes is getting very close. The Force needs about a comeback. Is this the start of it? Stunder. Pick and go. Cowan is over the line. Try. That will give them some hope. And Ben Mowen is going to have a chat to the referee.
No, he's not. The guy I'm sending is this fella. Come here, please.
Yeah, I knew there'd be a yellow card. This is
Come here, please.
Jared Butler.
Okay. He's one of around about 5 guys that I've played advantage for at the breakdown. We've also had 2 offside calls in that phase of play. It's unacceptable that we then have 5-ish infringements. Okay, you're in the bin, mate. Where you go?
Okay, if Ben Mowen says fair enough, you know he realised there has been some offences. Force it back in the game. That's the big one.
Oh, Ben Mowen did debate black and white with you, Ben Mowen. And I think he just took his dues there and thought, only 1 in the bin, we could have had 4 or 5.
How many phases did that go for? Probably a dozen, and there were 5 or 6 advantages. Every second breakdown, there was an advantage being ruled on. But here's the end. Cowan took it upon himself to plunge that last 2 metres. They were due.
Yep, they got you, mate.
They showed discipline. Brumbies kept piling in, but not good enough.
First try for the season for Peck Cowan. And it's 28-13. Plenty of time.
Well, they're 1 man down. This is their chance to get another try back, and they're back in the game. Well, they're back in the game now, but they're a chance if they can get another one in the next 5.
Wykes.
Albie Mathewson at halfback. The bearded Albie has made a difference already.
McKelman up to the 22. Back it goes to Holmes. Now Tamua. Needs to stamp his authority on the game again. Good return to the ball. 12 metres inside Force territory.
That's a 30-metre kick return from Tamua.
White gives it to Spate. Got away from the Honey Badger. Gets the ball away. And skirting down there for a hat-trick is that man, Matt Tamua. Oh, what a game the 10 is having.
Simply incredible. Let's not forget he's the man that fielded the kick. He's the one that got them back on the front foot. Nick White, yeah, shake his hand because he's the one who made the decision, the long pass. Nick Cummins won't want to watch this. That is brilliant again from Henry Spate. He has sucked in 3 defenders, and Tamua backing up after getting them on the front foot brilliantly.
Shocking pass from Nick White, but throws it well out in front of Henry Spate. He had no other option but to hit it as hard as he could, and he just gets on the outside of Nick Cummins, who hasn't had a great night, hardly seen any of the ball. Matt Tamua finishes it off. The Brumbies really needed to hit back after losing Butler to the sin bin, and they did it ever so well.
Why wouldn't he be smiling? That's the first hat-trick by a Brumby since Mark Gerard in 2004.
Whoa.
And I think that hat-trick from Mark Gerard might have been in the final, the Super Rugby final against the Crusaders at this venue, when they went on a point-scoring spree in the first half.
Some people score hat-tricks and you go, well, they didn't really dominate the game. Tamua has towered over this fixture this evening. He's been simply brilliant. Lealiafano, he's got the hooks. Let's check this one out.
From out wide. And it's trying to come around, and it does. So there might be a man down for that converted try. We'll just hold the Western Force at bay for a while longer. 35-13.
Tackle by 6 from Matt Tamua. He's run 133 metres. What a match he's having. The Brumbies freshening a few up. Cape looking forward to a final, they think.
Well, Jesse Mogg was carrying a little bit of an injury there. Paddy McCabe comes on.
What about those for 2 changes? McCabe and Aolua.
Power has been replaced, and Leon Power has been very solid indeed. So here's Aolua, has signed
It's a ball!
He's
for an extra year.
He's Power as well.
Not coming out of there, so the Force will get the put in.
Hey.
Bit of push and shove. And Coleman not too happy with a bit of lip that Nick White gave him.
Yeah, how much to second rowers? They don't like halfbacks giving them a niggle.
Hey.
Scott Seo stepping in to act as the bouncer.
There's our lure.
Crouch. Bind. Sit.
Picked up a number 8 by McKelman to Mathewson. No look past a stunner on the inside. Taken by McCabe. Oh, and then it was pretty sloppy. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh, Coleman and Wykes couldn't decide who was going to catch it. I tell you what, it was a brilliant little piece of attack on the inside with the inside ball there.
Let's go sideline. Rod Caper with a special guest.
Yeah. Steve, team done really nicely tonight.
Yeah, Cape, I think our attacks function pretty well off the back of some good set-piece ball, and the force have played pretty narrow, so haven't challenged us too much there on the edges, but yeah, 35 points is a good showing.
Different attacking structure from the team. Is that what you've been working on in the time off and obviously the bye last week?
I don't know, actually. I haven't been around too much. I've been sort of in the physio room most of the time, but I think most of the talk's been about getting our set piece right, defending well, and our attack generally flows off that, so that's been pleasing.
How are you, mate? How's the knee coming on? How long?
Yeah, good, mate. 5 weeks tomorrow, so haven't been counting, but it's going all right. It's all as I'd expect it to be, so long road ahead, but it's all going well so far.
Good luck with the rehab.
Thanks, Cove. Cheers.
Such an unlucky season for Stephen Moore, captain of the Wallabies, and lasted a matter of a minute or so in his first test as captain. But you've got to remain positive.
Cafe, you need to suggest to him that he gets himself a Brumbies beanie from the merchandise huddle.
Oh, mate, he's all right. He just told me he's heading back upstairs. He said, I'm not going to stay with you, Cafe. I'm heading upstairs to the warmth. I'd like to join him.
6 degrees. You're getting soft, Rod.
It was 6 when we started, Clark. I can guarantee you it's a little bit less than that now.
20 minutes to go.
Sit.
And it was good work by the force to get the put into the scrum. Oh, and it shoots out the side of the Brumbies. But
I understand. It came out the tunnel, mate. It came out the tunnel. I get it. It's blue feed.
Ben Mowen not in an argumentative mood tonight.
Yeah, mate. I understand.
Has this hit my knee? Let's go back.
3-11. You would have thought the force would have put points on. It's been the Brumbies with a converted try since Butler's been in the bin.
Let's go, Benny. Hit my knee. Second. Here we go, boys. Charlie.
Crouch. Bind.
Ben McCalman at number 8 hasn't had a huge impact tonight for the force. There he is just with the beard, just hopping out of the scrum, having a chat. There's a big blind side, no winger.
Marto, it's been a roller coaster ride for the force. They've won 4 of their last 8. A lot of people writing them off, and they refuse to go away. And maybe it's taking its toll.
Well, they had a slow start, first 2 games. They're the Brumbies, they're on a good home streak this season. Yeah, force started poorly, then had a wonderful run. Came good again last weekend against the Reds.
Sit.
But they've been blown off the park. The speed of the game that Brumbies started at tonight has surprised them. Still time.
They will give it everything. Tuatara Morrison taken by Tamua. Mathewson. Now it's Haylett-Petty looking to get involved. Dane Haylett-Petty trying to get on the outside. And it's been towed through. So they can start again through Holmes. They throw it into the centre of the park to Hayward. He was taken by Leo Leofano. Mathewson. Holmes. Double pump. Haylett-Petty chipping and throwing it back on the inside. And it's been... Wow.
Okay, I just want to have a look.
He's going to have a look at this one. He had his hand out. And they played on.
Yeah, I'd have a look.
Listen, mate, I just want to see the lead up to all of that try.
Yeah.
Are we looking at possible knock-on? Possible
Yes.
knock-on. Yeah, and here. Yeah. I've got the early tackle against White. If it... Yeah. But listen, mate, I'm really only looking for a blue infringement because if the try's not scored, I'll go back for a penalty for an early tackle.
Right, we'll have a look. Gee, brilliant.
Pardon?
Brilliant chip kick from Dane Haylett-Petty. And then he was hung on to.
Did it come off his hands or another part of his body? So potential knock on.
This is a good pass here. Yeah, that's fabulous. This chip got it onto his foot so quickly. Yeah. So that went backwards. It still hasn't... Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
That's a try.
I've got 2 knock-ons in there, Marto.
Exchange of...
Dane Haylett-Petty might
You reckon this went forward?
Well, he gets a touch there. That's definitely gone
Gone
forward.
forward.
Oh, it has not, has it?
Yeah, it's definitely gone forward.
But I'm going to need your advice whether there's a knock-on there. Oh, okay.
There's the early tackle from Moen. It's gone forward.
The screen's 90 metres away. I need your help here, okay?
I think it hits Jaden Hayward's left hand. Dane Haylett-Petty might not have knocked that on, but I think it hits Hayward's left hand there. Oh, sorry, it's Morrison, rather.
He was getting the ball. Yeah, that's fine, mate.
Another look at it here.
I'm sure they'd rather the try. I loved how quickly he got that to his foot. That was brilliant. We'll come back to the penalty, but they don't want the penalty. Let's say that went back. No, that didn't come off Tuatara Morrison's hand,
Steve,
did it?
mate, I've got no clear knock-on.
No,
You?
tried it.
He's going to give a try here, Cave.
Right,
Did
try
that go
forward.
backwards? Yeah. That went backwards out of the hand.
Yeah, that's backwards, is it?
That's a try.
Yeah, I think you're right, Marto. Mine is 2 knock-ons now.
Yeah, there's a try to Chris Tuatara Morrison.
Sorry, mate.
And it was brilliant work by Tuatara Morrison because he played to the whistle.
Yeah, it was real sus in real time, but it got clearer and clearer, the murkiness, as we watched more replays. Did Nathan Charles end up getting up? He wasn't even a spectator. He was turned the other way. Yeah, he's right.
So 35-18.
Oh, here's a good move.
And he can't add the extra 2.
And look who's
Hayward.
coming on. CRC Basson is on, and you're off, Jaden Hayward.
17 also making his way out there, Tetra Faulkner. So the night is over for Jaden Hayward.
I'm surprised they've dragged him off for Eberson.
And Peck Cowan, one of the try scorers, coming off as well. So 2 tries this season to Chris Tuatara Morrison, only his 6th start. And Man Ray is also off, Josh Man Ray, so Rory Murphy. Prop turn hooker.
Here goes Matthewson.
Matthewson takes it quickly, gives it to Wykes. They're going to try and go the distance, the 480, the force. And they've got a bit of a roll on now as Matthewson gives it to McKelman. Someone like Ben McKelman could just spark something as well.
Well, they want to score this before the Brumbies go back to 15 players. Man in the bin's ready to come back on, Jordan Butler.
And Russellia.
No captain, Nate! Thanks, mate.
To the left they go, and straight through goes Coleman. Where's the support? He throws it back. A bit of a Hail Mary. It's been picked up by Carter. And the Brumbies have it.
Oh, that was a chance.
And White, not in any hurry to dig this one out. He retreats a couple of metres and then puts it into touch on the far side.
Well, the force with all the running. Coleman didn't need to throw it. Butler back onto the field. And he's breathed. Sigh of relief now. God, they were right on attack, and that would have really closed the game down. Some try-saving tackles. Joe Tamani does fantastically well there. Another one here from Paddy McCabe.
He doesn't miss many.
Great tackle. Why did he throw it? Hold on.
Crowd figure is being announced over the PA system, 11,742 on a very cold night in Canberra. And depending on what happens in the Crusaders Highlanders game, if the Brumbies do hold on and win this one, if the Crusaders beat the Highlanders, they could be back here next week hosting a playoff. But that's all in the future. And an intriguing final round of Super Rugby 2014 it is. Defending champs, the Chiefs, still alive. Last year's beaten finalists, the Brumbies, looking like they're alive unless the Force can come home with a withering run. Now, the Brumbies haven't been deep inside Force territory for some time, Cave. This will be interesting.
Yeah, they're just trying to get some rhythm back. They've slowed the pace down now, the Brumbies. You can see them walking into the line. They know the clock's on their side. Wouldn't surprise me to see them use a drive here. It's a full line out. Couple more replacements on for the Force.
Hang on, mate. I'll come down and see it, okay?
Charles is coming off. So too Ben McKelman. So a couple of Wallabies being replaced by Michael Foley.
Come on.
Has he conceded? Is that what that means?
So the Brumbies are running onto it as Tamua. Here's Spate. They wrap him up on the 10-metre mark. White to Fardy. Celia makes the tackle and Hodgson is right over the top of him. They clean him out in the nick of time. Now it's White. Pops it over the top to Carter. Enjoying his time back on the playing paddock. It's being turned over, though.
Hodgson got it, I think, early.
And it's been almost intercepted by Tamua. Penalty.
Just offside. Offside.
Offside against Tamua, taken quickly by Matthewson. He's added some spark in the second half. Rasilia. Hodgson, 33 years young. Ed Hodgson, most tackles, most pilfers in Super Rugby in 2014. Matthewson 5 from halfway. Holmes, double pumps, goes on his own.
Brumbies getting off their defensive line suspiciously quickly.
Long bottom. Matthewson. Fine stunder. Now it's a new hooker. Heath Tessman. Over the halfway. Oh,
here's trouble.
So Gelcock it is, who is out there, and so too is Joe Tamani, and the Brumbies are packing their bags, heading for the playoffs. You would think 40 points to 18, a mix-up, and Tamani pounces. Hasn't been on there all that long. Back from injury.
Well, they ran out of men on the right-hand side. They were putting pressure on. They'd moved forward 20 metres or so. But that pass there, Alcock recently on the field, not up with the pace of the game. Tamani swooped on it, and away he goes.
Mate, Brumbies really lucky there. They're all offside, those guys on the short side. Nick White, Matt Tamua, all in front of the last feet. Tough to see for Steve Walsh. Ball sort of came out, poor pass. Brumbies get away with it to the ground. And when you're on the front foot and you're working really hard in defence, and you commented that the Brumbies' line speed had really improved, difficult for the ref to see whether they were onside or offside. But Joe Tamani took full advantage.
Missed the last 4 games. And while he was on the injured list, he managed to sign another contract to stay in Canberra. And this one is over. And so it's 42 points to 18. And that looks like it is the Brumbies' highest score this season. So are they coming right at the right time of the season?
Good time to come good.
42 points to 18. And Tamani, 3 tries for the season. CO is off. Ruan Smith is on for the Brumbies. Alexander off as well. So here's Aolua. Lines up. White. Back to Tamua, who's been a wonderful general for the Brumbies. Quick hands. Oh, that was forward. Yeah. Forward from Hoskins.
I do like the way that sometimes Steve Walsh lets things go, but I guess he couldn't have there. Honey Badger having a rare run this evening, and looks like being his last game for the Fours for now. Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't look like it's going to be a fairy tale ending in 2014 for crowd favourite Nick Cummins. 21 coming on as well. Taste of a hometown victory maybe for Michael Dowsett.
50th game, Nick White gets a good reception as he comes to the bench and happy. Let him out tonight.
Very solid performance all round from the Brumbies. A little over 9 minutes away from a spot in the playoffs. They went all the way to the final in 2013, beaten by the Chiefs in Hamilton in the decider.
Pre-engage.
Heading for 7 wins on the trot at home.
Tight head.
Some real problems around the scrum engagement. Steve Walsh is asking them to engage really closely, ear to ear.
Mate, it's 5 metres in there, okay?
And it's impossible for the front row. Ben Alexander's really finding it difficult to not pre-engage when you're ear to ear. Almost have to be. There's no space left there at all for it.
Pre-engaged.
There you go, Steve Walsh calling it pre-engaged.
A low-level penalty.
So the Force playing for some pride now. It's important that they do finish strongly after the season they've had.
They're not giving up.
Hodson. 6 metres out. That's a good strong run. Pick and go. Faulkner is over the line. Ooh, held up, is he? No, back in the field of play. So Mathewson taking his time. He goes to the right. There's a clear run. And Holmes will score against his old team, the Brumbies. Zach Holmes.
Well done, Albie Mathewson. It was the old double-up trick. They kept rolling around to the right, to the right, to the right. Came so close. He motioned all his backs to switch angles across to the left-hand side. Left Zach Holmes, free run. Well-worked try.
Third try in the second half. And Eberson. As he doesn't have a lot of time, so he rushes through. And that's off the uprights and over it goes. So 42 points to 25, 7 minutes remaining. Can they pull off a miracle comeback?
What a game. Almost a point a minute. Force haven't been disgraced. They got their 3.
6 tries to 3 at the moment. And, yeah, the referee has called time off. Brumbies in no hurry to get things started again.
2 tries here in the next 7 minutes by the Fours. Isn't pure fantasy. It's going to be tough. Get 2 bonus points. There's still a show. Am I correct or not? I'll do my maths later.
I'll leave that one to you. So Alcock goes to ground on the 22. Eberson throws it out to Cummins. Leofano makes the tackle. Mathewson floats one over. Alcock taken by Ruan Smith. Wykes. Nasilia. Halek Petty. Towards the halfway, so good meters. Eberson throwing the dummy. Got a great ball away to Hodgson. And Dowsett just slowed him enough. Now it's Eberson running onto it again. Tetra Faulkner inside Brumbies territory. Oh, but the penalty goes against the attacking team.
Just like I've spoken in the first half. 16 cleaning out.
They were on a roll. They get pinged.
Did Heath Testman, he's saying that he helped create a hold because he went past the ball. This ball was a beauty from Eberson. Maybe he only just cleared a fitness test to get on the field off the bench. Oh, Heath Testman went past the ball, but really let it go, Steve.
Bit of a let-off for the Brumbies. Momentum was with the Force, and now the Brumbies will get the throw into the line out. It's about 35 metres out from the Force line. Again, Brumbies trying to slow things down. The referee calling time off.
The Brumbies have just cleared the bench, last man.
So Jared Butler, who had 10 in the bin, is off, and veteran Tom McVeary is on there, from a Reds player. And here we go with Spate. Oh, Henry Spate gets the fan going, but he's pulled down only about a metre out.
In the side advantage.
Advantage being played. And the Brumbies' bodies all over the place. It's been stolen, but the penalty will go to the Brumbies. Somehow they managed to rein Henry Spate in on that occasion. But now that it's taken quickly, and the kick across field off the uprights, and it bounces up. And so the Force have it.
I'm going to play an accidental in front. I think he could do absolutely nothing about it.
What a novel.
The Brumbies are going to get the put into the scrum.
Novelty bit of play that was from Matt Tapumua. He didn't mean to hit the post. Henry Spate. How quick is he?
It's fantastic. That loves that stuff into collision. Just the power and the ability to change direction. This is a great tackle in the end. And we'll have a look at ref cam. Does it hit Steve Walsh in the head? No. It's off the uprights.
I agree with Steve Walsh. That was unavoidable.
No, there's nothing you can do.
Boys, I'm going to play an accidental in front. I think he could do absolutely nothing about it.
I think we all agree, Steve. Good call. Good call.
I just wonder whether the call from Tamua not to take the three and wrap it up well and truly was a good one. But now it's McCabe. Gap closed. And stolen by Mathewson. No, the penalty goes against the Force again.
See, he wasn't the tackler. He has to go through the gate unless he makes the tackle, goes to ground, gets to his feet. He was a bystander, not a tackler.
Well, all this is eating away the seconds. And it's going to be a bit of an anxious wait for the Brumbies. See what happens in that game between the Crusaders and the Highlanders tomorrow in Christchurch. Brumbies through to the playoffs. But in what position will they get to host a semi-final? Watch it all unfold over the next 24 to 36 hours.
Well set. The Force are doing a great job of putting the right shoulder on.
But they still rumble, the Brumbies, and they're over. There's the try that's well and truly sealed it now. And getting up with it, one of the Smith brothers. Or was it Rory Murphy? One of the replacement front rowers.
That's Tom McVeary. Is that who scored it? Yeah, Tom McVeary.
Yeah.
Well, Tommy got there as well. Right.
Is that his first Super Rugby try? How many games has he played?
Well, its bodies all over the place, and it was. McVeary's only been on there for a short time, and it is his first Super Rugby try. So, Tom McVeary, you little beauty.
Yeah, the Force did an excellent job at defending that. They almost unsettled the Brumbies. Did the right thing. Brumbies through to the front, didn't get off the ground, got set quickly. The bench, of course, happy. The Force worked really hard to drive them into the sideline, but just didn't finish the job. Tommy McVeary did really well to stay on his feet and chose the right time to pop out, score the try. Christian Leali'ifano with the opportunity to add the extras, kicking right into the breeze. Needs to start it on the right upright and hope to just drag it in a fraction.
49th game of Super Rugby for Tom McVeary. Has had a stint in Japan, a long stint. So,
he's first try at the Reds too. You telling me he didn't score a try at the Reds either?
And this one is out to the left, so It remains 47-25.
Smiles all round.
7 tries to 3 so far. They've got a poor record in the final games of the regular season, the Brumbies. This will be the first final game of the season they've won since 2007. That's the regular season. They won 7 of their first 9 games and went into a bit of a lull, winning 2 of the past 6. But now it's another victory for them. And they've hit back nicely after the hammering they copped in Sydney to the Waratahs. And for the Western Force, well, they're playing it out. Their most successful season comes to an end. They won't be in the top 6. Close, but no cigar. But things can look promising for years 2015 and 16. As the siren sounds in the background, who'll have the final say? Wide they go. Wykes got away from Spate. Wykes is getting very close. They will go upstairs, or is that the call? Will he check it? Yeah. He thinks it's held up. No. He was held up. It's so no try right at the end. So the Brumbies have won it 21-6 at half-time. Full-time they've won it 47-25. An entertaining game in Canberra. 3 tries in the first half, and that was costly.
There's your best player there, number 10, Matt Tamua.
He got a hat-trick. 47-25. Brumbies through to the top 6. Force, what do you make of the season?
Well, a slow start, a super middle. And I'll tell you what, the last 2 weeks, there was nothing wrong with that performance tonight. They were blown away by a team that should be in the semi-finals and led by Tamua. They're up on form. So you score 25 points against the Brumbies when they're in that sort of form. It's a pretty big effort. They'll be disappointed. They've won their most number of games for the season. They were so keen to win 10 for the year. That bloke there played his 100th, Matt Hodgson. 100th game earlier this year. There's been some inspirational moments over in Perth. It was just a job too big for them tonight.
So Ben Mowen, 49th game as captain, equals George Gregan's record as captain for 49 games. So he's going to get a 50th next week, and we just don't know where it will be.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I think every game he's been as a captain. Clyde Rathbone, only surviving member of the 2004 championship winning team.
And Henry Spate. Terrific performance. Makes such a difference. I think why you say spiders?
Yeah, I think that means that
no one likes to touch it.
Yeah, no one wants to touch it because he's got spiders, especially Nick Cummins. He wouldn't be happy.
Well, not the end that Nick Cummins wanted in the blue jersey of the Western Force. He's been fantastic for the franchise, and hopefully we'll see him again. And that jersey, 15 tests for the Wallabies. He's off to Japan. 7 tries this season. Things didn't go his way tonight, he and the rest of his teammates. So 47-25. The Brumbies are successful at home. 7 in a row in Canberra. Let's go to Rod Kafer.
Been a real attacking performance from the Brumbies tonight. He must be delighted with the way the team played.
Oh, look, extremely pleased, obviously, to get a score like that in the final rounds when a spot in the finals is on the line. You know, it's a really pleasing result, and you know, I'm glad the way the guys responded to the pressure. You know, you're 3 years in now, you start to really enjoy those moments rather than worry about them.
You seemed to relax into the game as the team scored some points. It seemed like it was pretty comfortable in the end.
Yeah, look, it didn't ever feel fully comfortable, but we had to work extremely hard. But no, really pleasing result. Anytime you get a win against the Force, it's great. And bonus point, yeah, even better.
You got the bonus point now. You won the match. Now you look forward and wait for who it could be over the weekend. I know you won't mind who it is. You might want to play somebody in particular.
Look, I think we'll play the Highlanders. You know, I think Crusaders will be really strong at home. So we'll sit back and wait and see. Just on behalf of the Brumbies boys, just want to wish the Force congratulations on a really good year. You know, it's great to see Australian sides climb the ladder, and they were great to watch this year.
Well said, Ben. Best of luck in the semis and the quarterfinals, semis and the final. Should you go that far and go well?
All the way, Casey. Come on, mate. Thanks, mate.
Good luck. And also joining me is Matt Hodgson. Matt, a tough night for the Force, but a really wonderful season. Just the last moment tonight, couldn't quite get there in the end.
Yeah, I think to go out with a held-up try, I think it's disappointing the way we put in for the season. But, yeah, in all that, it's been a great season for us.
Team would have learnt a lot, particularly how to win those close games, and you showed throughout the year that you had that in them. Tonight, just the Brumbies, just that different level again.
Yeah, we have. We've learned how to win consistently. It's just now learning those big games like tonight. Canberra are a tough team to play any week, let alone a must-win at home. So we will learn a lot, and we'll improve again next year.
What was the difference this season? What turned it around now that you get a moment to look back? I know it's only brief. What turned it around, do you think, for the Force?
Probably deep down in the pre-season, we looked in at each other and said, we can win the big games one-off, why can't we do it week in, week out? And I think once we got a roll on after that Melbourne game, we believed in ourselves and got that consistency going, and we know we can beat anyone on our day. We just got to be our day all the time.
It's been a great season for the Force. Fell at the final hurdle, but congratulations on what the team's achieved this season.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, like you said, it's been a great season. Disappointing not to compete again next week, but we'll go back and learn from this year and improve next year.
Well done.
Cheers. Thanks, Kev.
Yeah, terrific season by Matt Hodgson in particular, and his team will look back with plenty of satisfaction at those 9 wins, but close but no cigar. They couldn't quite make it into the playoffs for the first time, but the Brumbies are into the playoffs, and we just have to wait now to see what other results happen this weekend, to see if they're going to be hosting a team. Could be that they might play the Chiefs in Canberra next week if things go their way, and that'll be a replay of last year's grand final. Post-match wrap coming up next after the Brumbies defeated the Force 47-25.